So when you start the scholarship process where it's literally focused on you, your brand, what you have done, what you want to achieve, and being able to sell that to, say, the panelists for them to come and select you, you have now to go deep and self-reflect. You sit in that interview and they're asking you about your great work. You're not going to quote them in one line as you have in your CV. You're going now to start talking about them like you take ownership of them. You take ownership of your achievements. And that's where now I would say the mindset comes in.
Today I have a special guest, one of my clients. Her name is Shamim, and she's going to tell us more about herself. Hi, Shamim.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm all right.
Yeah. I'm so delighted to have you on the podcast, and I would like to introduce you. Shamim is my previous client, and she has some good things to tell us about her time with working with me and how I helped her get what she got. Without further ado, let's get right into this episode. So Shamim, could you tell our listeners about yourself and how you got to know about my services?
No worries. Nice seeing you again, Faith. My name is Shamim Ibrahim. I am an account director in marketing, but I was applying for Chevening as an organisational psychologist, which is my passion. And I came across a friend who had worked with Faith, and they recommended her services, highly recommended her services, if I might say. And I worked together with her, and now is it a scholar? Is it an awardee? Is it an alumni?
All of them.
I'm in the Chevening network now because of her. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's amazing. One of the questions I usually ask my clients or people I bring onto the podcast is, what led you to choose to work with me? Because if you don't know me and someone just recommends me, you might think like, just another person who wants to make money, of course. But what led you to work with me? And what are those self-limiting beliefs that you overcame to apply for the scholarship in the first place, or even have the thought of applying for the scholarship in the first place?
Aside the fact that when you look at the fact that the scholarship itself is fully funded, that was one of at least I needed something that was fully funded. I think when it comes to my own mindset, you have to really know what you want. It's as simple as that. You have to really know what you want and put in a lot of, can I call it, research and trying to find out what fits for you. So for me, Chevening was one of those things that fits in every aspect in terms of what they're looking for and what they're offering you. When it comes to, say, choosing to work with Faith, for me, it was a very direct, can I call it very direct choice. It's more of like, it's your first time, so you need all the help and support you can get. And I talked to a friend who had previously worked with her. So my friend highly recommended. Then I went through her website, and my catch, I guess, was the 30 minutes free session that she offers. So it's like, at least you kind of understand this is a person who really wants to see where you're at, if everything aligns, and then they can see really how they support you. For me, that's much better than someone who would have been like, just, log in and pay, and without really having that first session of trying to understand what I want and where I'm coming from and what I want to achieve. So for me, I think that was the specific catch, that I had at least a free session for her to just understand me and my goals and what I want to achieve.
Because I think the free session helps me actually to know my clients. Some people come when they're not serious and you're like, if I'm going to charge this person money, they will say I took their money, because there are also those coaches who are about getting money. They think like, I need to have money at the end of the day. I have to make $10,000 every month.
Yeah.
But if you have clients who you align with, it helps you.
It's more of a two-way street, because you also have to understand that the person understands. You just can't say, I'm going to get coaching without trying to figure out, does she understand what I'm trying to get? Does she understand the scholarship that I'm trying to apply? Or does she even understand my career goals? You get? So you have to really, it's both ways.
I think it's a two-way street, because the client has to be matched with the person or the coach that they're working with. Now you're talking about career change. You're changing from being a marketer to a psychologist. How did you navigate that? Because I believe it's a bit hard for you to change from one career to another. What mindset did you have to go through for you to decide, I'm going to leave marketing and I'm going to be a psychologist or person doing psychology?
I think maybe what I should have mentioned was I've always wanted to be a psychologist. So psychology was like the first thing that I wanted to do, but there's the limitations, let me say, from the culture, from the background that you're coming from. Some professions are not really looked at like the profession. So my parents could not really see me as a psychologist. You know, to them, it's more of like, what do they even do?
You're going to work with mad people.
Exactly. You're going to work with mad people. So, and at that time, you're under your parents' mercy. So you'll do whatever it is you need to do. But I felt like, at least let me pick something that I'm still dealing with people. So in a way, marketing was something that I'm still directly dealing with people. I might not be the mad people as they assumed, but it's still people. So, and then you start now in your, let me say, in your career path, as you start maturing in it and growing in it, you start realizing really where you're fine-tuned when it comes to people element. So it could be like be a PR maybe, and maybe branch into that, but then you find, no, that's not really aligning with your passion. So as I'm progressing in my career, I'm realizing there's so much that I can do to help workforce, to help people, to help employees, and and slowly I'm trying to find, how can I do that? And then it turns out there's a whole course around it, organizational psychology. So I'm like, okay, this is now perfectly aligned with everything that I am, with everything that I want to achieve. And it was just, can I call it like a progression into your career path? Yeah. And now as an adult, you take back charge of your life. I never wanted to be this person. I've always wanted to be this person. But because of the experience I've got as this person, I can combine that and now be a better person in this field. So I'm just not going to apply as a psychologist. I'm specifically applying as an organizational psychologist.
Amazing. Exactly. That's great. I'm glad you have the career clarity, because it's very important for you to know what you want out of your career, because your career is an integral part of your life. You live with it. Some people have chosen careers that they don't like, and every day you have to wake up to a job or to a career path that drains you. And I like to, and I'm loving seeing you like speak about it with this so much passion and so much zeal. Yeah, you're going to do well. I know you're going to do well. Yeah.
Thank you. I look forward. I'm more excited, I think, to finally just be able to do what I want to do, and in a way that makes sense to me, in a way that you're creating an impact, you're changing, the mindsets, because it's everything to do with the mindset. So if I had an opportunity, maybe if there was someone who could tell my parents back then, hey, a psychologist is really something, maybe to that different. So if I can actually play part in that, the changing of the mindset and making an impact, I'm good to go.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's great. So the other question I have is about, what would you tell a person who is applying for scholarship? Because you applied for the Chevening, and the fact that you applied for it even when you're changing courses, like you're changing the career path, because I would believe a person who would want to do psychology would be a person who has done an undergraduate in psychology and now they want to master the psychology. But for you, you did it not the conventional way. So what advice would you give a person who is applying for scholarship on how to go about it, given that you've just been in the thick of it right now?
I think for me, the first thing would be, you really have to know what you want. You just can't go beating around the bush because it's something that is free, because that's what people always think. I'm applying for a scholarship because it's something that is free. Because at the end of it, consider it an investment someone is putting in you. So why would they choose you and invest in you above everyone else? And the only way they will do that is to understand that there's something that you want. And the only way you can do that is being very, very clear with yourself that this is what I want, this is how I'm going to go about it, and this is an opportunity for me to actually get it. So I think it starts from you. Let me just say that it starts from you. And the whole process through it is, I feel like once you actually know what you want, so you are very targeted even in your research, even in the information you're absorbing, in the people that you're adding in your circle to support you. Because now if you come to a coach, like say an example, I'm not going to start telling you, can you write for me this scholarship without me understanding what I want, you get? So someone can't write for you that scholarship. Most of them come and they're like, can you write for me? They will guide you, they will help you, they will give you the right support to actually achieve what you want, but they can't write for you what you want.
Exactly. That's what I tell my clients. A coach is supposed to guide you on your journey. They don't do the work for you. Look at, let's say, any sport. A coach will be the one telling you, make this move, but they're not telling you, make this move like this. Let me hold your leg and you kick the ball to the left, you see?
Exactly. I'll give an example of what I know. Chevening itself, they try to be as informative as possible with their website. So they'll try to guide you a lot in terms of when you're doing this part of it, try to do this, to try to do that. And they connect you with, say, their alumni network to try and, so you can find people don't even take the time to read through the first initial steps of what am I supposed to do. And then they'll go around like, guys, what are eligibility? What is the eligibility? And I'm like, it's right there, like section A of 2A, you get. So it's like, if you really put in the work, some of these things are like, by the time you come to a person to guide you, you at least have the stepping stone. So they're building on what you have to actually make it excellent. Can I call it that?
Amazing. And it takes proactiveness. You have to be proactive. No one is going to do the work for you. It's your career, You have to do the dirty work. You have to dig the holes. They do the research. And when you do that, I believe in serendipity. I believe in luck. I believe that things happen for a reason. And when you do that, if you believe in God, God is going to bring all those ducks in one row for you, right? God is going to connect you to the people who are going to propel you in the next stage of your life because you've taken an initiative, right? Because every worker deserves a pay. Like when you put in the work, you get the pay of having the scholarship. But many of Africans, I've noticed with Africans, the problem we have, we don't like reading. Let's say if something requires you to read a 2-pager, but it's going to give you a scholarship that's going to pay, let's say, £50,000 for your entire thing. Someone cannot read a 2-pager to figure out what they need to get the £50,000, you see? And over that £50,000 basically is going to be something that is going to even multiply, because when you get the master's, at the end of the day, you're going to have a big job that will give you more money than that 2-pager, you see?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. There's an example, like they will tell you, the essay should not be above 500 words. And we submit. When you're submitting, the system, the portal, is not going to tell you you're above 500 words. Don't submit. No. It's like you need to be proactive to make sure your essay is strictly 500 words. So this person submits an essay of 503, and then as I submitted 503 words of the essay, do you think they will accept me? I was like, you've already broken a mandatory rule. So even if they come to you and they talk to you and they can't understand the simple concept of being proactive in their own aspect of building that scholarship, I mean, you have the perfect essay, but you have exceeded the word limit. The system will just flush you out, Yeah.
As we were speaking earlier on, you talked about bragging about your career accomplishment, which is called having a personal brand. Coca-Cola brags that they are drinking the best, the greatest taste of them. I don't know the slogan, but they brag because they believe in their brand. It's a brand thing. So I would want you to tell my listeners about how you established your brand for you to be selected. Because I would believe there were so many people who applied for this scholarship. But how did you make yourself stand out of that crowd and get to the shortlist, and even not just top at the shortlist, get the scholarship?
Personally, I would say these are things like, that's where now I would say your mindset has to shift. because you come and you're doing a lot of great things, but you don't realize that you're doing a lot of great things because you're coming from a background or even an environment, work office environment, that does not really appreciate, let me say, such things. So it's just like, oh, we are done with this. All right, guys. So on to the next one, and then you keep moving, you're accumulating these things. But the biggest element you have of how you're going to apply your achievements is building your CV. And we always say that I'm building my CV. But beyond your CV, you should be thinking, I'm building a brand. This is me. This is my achievement. This is how I am. We're not just putting bullet points on a paper so that the next job offer is, oh, this person has done great work. But if you yourself don't realize you've done great work, you sit in that interview and they're asking you about your great work. You're not going to quote them in one line as you have in your CV. You're going now to start talking about them like you take ownership of them. You take ownership of your achievements. And that's where now I would say the mindset comes in. So for me, it was like I was that person who would just be like, okay, bullet point, I did this. So when you start the scholarship process where it's literally focused on you, your brand, what you have done, what you want to achieve, and being able to sell that to, say, the panelists for them to come and select you, you have now to go deep and self-reflect. And then now those little things that I would just put as, I participated, but I led, I did this, I created, so that then it becomes that I did this. And in the process, as much as I'm acknowledging the team, it's almost like you have to tie it to the 360 and make sure they understand your, your leadership, your, so I'm like, okay, what am I saying?
You're speaking a lot of sense. This is what I teach. My clients. Like, you have to own your accomplishment. Don't downplay yourself. If you don't own your accomplishment, no one in this world is going to know you more than you know yourself. No one is going to praise you more than you can praise yourself. So you have to own whatever you've done. If you led, as you said, you led a team, like you participated, you worked in a team, highlight your work. What did it result into? When you worked on that team, what was fulfilled? What did it result into? Was there a budget that you were able to deliver? Did you cut costs for the company? Like, those are things I want to hear from people who want to get ahead in their career. That's so amazing. I'm so
like, whatever happens for me, by the time I was done with my process, my mindset had already shifted in terms, I came out and I'm like, moving forward, I am going to be, I am doing this. It's no longer just bulletin points on, like, I'm very purposeful in terms of my brand, in terms of my career, in terms of my achievements. My next projects were very different. I took time to, like, hey guys, thank you so much for, being part of this team. These are things that we were not even doing before. It was like, once your project is done, it's like, all right, guys,
let's move to the next one.
Move on to the next. So this time, I actually took my team out for breakfast, and we were like, okay, we are done, guys. Congratulations. And then these guys were now talking back in terms of like, hey, remember this day, this happened, and you did this. And I'm getting a different aspect of how I've led the team. And I'm like, this is what I need. This is what I need to understand.
I know.
And it's because I've taken a moment to actually, appreciate the end of this. So my mindset has changed. Literally, my mindset. Moving forward, we are doing a brand understanding of what you need to do. Yes.
Amazing. I'm glad to have chatted with you. You've dropped a lot of pointers. Whoever is listening to this podcast, just know this is like a coaching session. Like, you're getting a coaching session for myself. And these are things I'm so thrilled to see that your career is moving forward. I'm thrilled to know that you know exactly what you want out of your career, and you also know where you want to see yourself 5 years from now. Because that's the question I usually ask my clients. Whoever comes to me, actually, the vetting question is usually, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? If you come and you're fumbling, most times I don't take up those clients because I know I have to do a lot of work, and I know you're not ready. Because if you can't project how far you want to see yourself in 5 years.
Yes.
there's not really much I can do for you. You have to go back and first do that work of changing your mindset and figuring out what you want. Then we can start working towards what you want.
I agree. And maybe just one thing, because for me, it took me time, considering I'd done a lot of the research, I'd absorbed a lot of information. It took me time to actually be like, you know what, maybe let me reach out to a person to, you know, I would say no matter how good or prepared you think you are, you always need a third eye, a fourth eye, or a fifth eye to actually, can I say, propel you to the next level of how better your essays or your preparation can be. So you take it for granted that, you know, I've done this and this, maybe I can sell it myself. No. You need that. You need, how do they say in Africa? They say kid is raised by...
the village. You need the village. You need the village.
You need the village. Don't take it for granted. You need the village. And at this point, if like Faith is just the whole village, like she comes with the whole
I'm like a whole village. Oh my goodness, that's a good one. Yeah.
So
but I also
that exactly.
The perspective, because even me myself in my own career, I have people I look forward to chatting with. I look for their insights because I know my career is my career, but I need another eye to look at my CV, to look at my projects, my plans. I have someone else to cross-check what I'm doing with, because it's different. You might see something with a narrow focus, but someone might see it in different dimensions, you know? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, this has been lovely.
And thank you for inviting me.
It's been so lovely chatting with. Go get them. Go get that master's.
You don't even have to tell me that. I am like, I am so ready to get them.
And the fact that it's what you want, you know?
I'm looking forward to the many great things in my mind that I'm now going to practically, put them out there. So how did they call it? Is there a term for that? Is it manifestations?
Yeah, manifestation. You're going to manifest your future, right?
Exactly.
One last question. What university are you going to?
University of Sussex in Brighton. Specifically, I picked the happiest town. Yeah, they told me this is the happiest town in UK. I was like, all right, let's start looking.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Like, you see, this is the whole process. Like everything, you have to really calculate, like what, where, things like that. So when it came for me personally, I didn't have the advantage of my bachelor's was in psychology, So most schools that you're going to take up for a master's, there's that expectation, but you have those that would look at what are those specific course units that you have done that are related to. So I've done like organizational behavior, I've done corporate law, so some of those, and they're like, all right, look at that. And so it was quite hard for me when it came to really looking for a university that could give me a master's in the course and the whole statement, is it statement of purpose?
Yes.
Yeah, such a huge selling, because I could have easily won a scholarship and then I don't have the university.
Yes, that's great. But I'm glad everything has worked out for the best.
Perfectly.
Perfectly for you.
And when you look at also the way they're taking of the organizational psychology, it's very futuristic. Like they're looking at things that are affecting now. That's what I want, and that's what exactly like I want, because I'm moving ahead with So it's like perfectly aligned. What is the word? Serendipity.
Perfect alignment. You're in like the serendipity.
Exactly.
Everything has fallen into place. All the pieces of the puzzle are in the right place.
Exactly. At the right time.
Yes.
With the right person.
And you chose the best year to apply,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. So it's been lovely. It's been great. And now I'm just looking forward to traveling.
Yeah. So where can the people who want to catch up with you, link up with you, find you? Do you have LinkedIn? Do you have anything like?
I do have LinkedIn. Is it a link that we share?
Yeah, you share it with me, then I'll put it in the description of the episode.
Okay. Yes. Anytime, guys.
When you get to the UK, continue building your personal brand, because it's that brand that is going to sell you when you're not in a room. Join organizations. If you're chosen to be a scholarship ambassador, be one. Like, choose all the avenues that are going to sell you, that you can add on your CV to say, this is what I did when I was in the UK.
I'm already thinking like a blog, so it's like, this is something I'm really passionate about, and it's almost like can I call it my reflection board? So with each course you go through, you kind of understand and give your views on it. So when they're talking about leadership in organization, I can literally write a blog about it, and I feel like I want to keep doing that, so that when I'm done and I'm out there practicing, I can always go back and remind myself why I chose career. Why.
Very important, because it's going to sell you. You won't need to mention your name. Someone will just put in your name, Shamim Ibrahim, and this is what will appear. They don't need to interview you. They might call you for an interview just to make a chat, but they will, if there are, let's say, causes that you support, you join those causes. Like, do whatever you have to build your brand when you're in the UK. That's what I did for myself to end up having a PhD, because by the time I applied for a PhD, when I went to the interview, it was more like a catch up. The supervisor just went, who is this person? Where are they from? How do they look? And that was it. They didn't ask me anything much, because I'd taken that time to build myself a personal brand. So it's very important. Continue building your personal brand and continue working towards your goals. That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much, and I'll always be reaching out, do not worry, so the last time you're seeing or hearing from me.
Of course. It's been lovely having you, and I'll say bye for now.
All right, you say hi to everyone around home.
Okay, right. I hope you've learned something from this episode, and if you have, please rate and review wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to this podcast, share it with your family, friends, and those that you think are interested in career development. Also, follow me on the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. The username is The Frame Solutions. I can't wait to speak to you in the next episode. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.